Hello, Goddess, and welcome to this week's Twin Flame Tuesday, which, as you can see, I'm doing things a little bit different here. It is my intention to be creating this more as a podcast, something that you can listen to. And if you would like the visual, of course, there's the picture of the spread on the screen. Again, this is for you to tune into, to close your eyes, to relax, to spend a little bit of time with yourself, receiving the messages that you are brought here to receive and that I am led to deliver. Again, there's so many things changing, there's such intensity on this twin flame journey right now. I had a goddess last night. When I went out to an event, actually I went to a weed party. That's where I was, a weed party at a coffee shop in Mesa, Arizona. Yep, I get to say that now. But yeah, someone else had come up to me and we were talking about the twin flames, and we were talking about the divine masculines and how so many of them, and there was just 111, and we were talking about that too, and how so many of the divine masculines, it seems, have chosen some excruciating karmic paths, which every one of them points in the direction of the divine feminine as outright rejection. Rejection. Separation is being amplified right now because of the separation energy in the collective. It is all being amplified right now because of the ascension process, right? As we raise our vibration, as we continue to ascend, the things that are not in alignment are going to be so amplified. And that's exactly what's happening here, is the separation energy that has permeated the human collective for millennia is being amplified in the twin flame collective by way of such excruciating rejection from our divine masculines, where it appears as though there is no hope, where it appears as though you have to settle, you don't have a choice, you don't have power. These are all the things that have been coming up, not just in my connection and in my journey, but in the collective of goddesses reaching out to me and ending up in tears, asking what's going on. In your journey, oh my gosh, this is why I share my journey. This is why I am so transparent with mine, because I know there are so many of you out there who do tend to feel so alone in this, because anybody who's not on a twin flame journey, they're not going to understand. And that was something that I learned early on, though not early enough, because I didn't know that I was with my twin flame. I didn't believe in twin flames when I met mine. I wasn't looking for anybody. I had my whole vision planned out. It was just going to be me in a house full of foster kitties, which was perfectly fine with me. Well, my soul had other plans and said, no, we didn't exactly plan for that, sweetheart. And now where I find myself in terms of my own twin flame journey, and of course my self-love empowerment journey, it's going, wow, I totally get why I've had to go this way, why my twin flame journey is going the way it's going, why he chose such an excruciating path, because it's about the mission first. Twin flames are mission based. It's mission first. All right. And excuse me, we have this ego perception of what a relationship is supposed to look like. But if we look around, we can clearly see in countless cultures how love itself has been prostituted. You have forced arranged marriages in India. You have the sex-based society here in America, where 1 in 4 end in divorce, where love is this superficial fairy tale thing where it doesn't require work and it just happens. Love is what we're here to reveal. We're here to show what unconditional divine source love really is. And that has to begin by loving ourselves first. You see, because our counterparts, they're not going to love us in any way that we're not able to love ourselves. And that's what's being amplified right now. Even before I discovered I was a twin flame, I would ask goddesses, especially those who on the outside appear as they're so confident, they have everything all put together for themselves. And I would ask them, but do you really love yourself? Do you really truly love and accept yourself? And at deeper probing, the answer was always no. The answer was always no. That beneath all of the makeup and the hair and the fancy clothes or whatever it was, they didn't truly love themselves. And that is what is being amplified right now, is the separation that is within ourselves from each our own true selves, each our own truth of that which we truly are. Excuse me. Right? And that is that throat chakra, that all the coughing, right? A cough represents a state often minimized, if not denied. And the divine feminine has been a state denied for millennia. The divine feminine of full expression, of free flowing, of surrendering, right? Of letting go of control. Instead, we've been so anchored in the wounded masculine. And this is why our divine masculines are taking that wounded masculine path, because of the ego. Right now, again, I remind each and every one of us, all of us, I remind us that, number one, because this came up in conversation last night with the goddess I was speaking with. Number one, it is always darkest before the dawn. Think about it. Right before the sunrise, it is so dark. Right before the sun rises. Okay, right before the sun starts to rise, it is so dark. Always darkest before the dawn. The energy of failure so often precedes that of success. And being that we are in the middle of the greatest exorcism that's ever taken place on this planet, because we are. We really truly are. That's what this is. It's really kind of the whole, if you believe in a twin flame connection, you gotta kind of expand your consciousness to not just dismiss other things that, right? Because that's one of the big things that taught me is I dismissed this twin flame way back when, and lo and behold, by the way, Rochelle, that's what you're on, and he's it. So giddy up, buckle up, buttercup, buckle up. But we are in the midst of the greatest exorcism to ever take place. Has been such evil that has been put in place to control humanity, to keep humanity enslaved. Think about the system in place. Think about how, especially as twin flames, how the system, so much of the system has been made to keep us apart. You know, for my twin flame love being in India and I being here, you have no idea how the governments create such separation between humanity. It's just absolutely insanity. It really truly is. And so right now, here we are in this insane twilight zone space, right? It's because we're in that, we're no longer in the old, but we're not yet in the new, and we are creating the new. It's not going to go the way everybody thinks it might, right? We are not, humanity does not fall into the timeline of complete and total tyranny, global tyranny. It doesn't. It just appears like it might here, but it's not. It's because the demon, the evil that has ruled over humanity and this realm for millennia, it's lost the war, and it's putting up its biggest fight right now. That's how it goes in any exorcism, right? The demon always fights the hardest when it knows it's lost the war. when it knows, when it sees its end, it knows it has nothing left to lose. So it plays all its cards. And that's exactly what is happening right now. And that is the very thing that has sucked the masculine into this abyss right now. Because he's got to know it too, just as the feminine has known and endured such darkness, such suppression, such diminishment, right? It is the divine feminine's time to rise up into her power and lead, to know and trust the connection with her divine masculine is there no matter what the physical appears itself to be as. That things are not as they appear. And so that is very much with this Twin Flame Tuesday, with this energy, and why, I've been keeping quiet a lot because I've not wanted to step on toes or offend people, but it's kind of like, when you see the bigger picture and the bigger picture and you've lived the underbelly of the matrix, then you believe things that most would think you're freaking nuts. But like I like to say, crazy is my calling card. It calls, where are we going? Where are we going today? Yeah. So with that, let's us actually check in with the cards, the unicorn oracles first that I always like to start with, as you know, tend to be my divine feminine energy. And oh my goodness, as I was shuffling, like I was just saying, and I almost said, I would not be surprised if the discernment card jumps out of the deck. And would you believe it? Yes, indeed. That is the very first card that has jumped out of the deck right here, is the discernment card, because things are not as they appear. They are not as they appear in this world. That which we've been taught is the history of humanity is a lie. Okay? Everything is a lie. When you control the information, then you control the narrative. Okay? And this is so applicable to your twin flame connection as well. It appears as though all hope is lost. It appears as though things aren't going to work out in your favor. It appears as though objects in mirror are not as they appear. Right? Remember that. They're not as they appear directly. You're just seeing that initial image, but there's so much more depth to it, right? That's why the mirror would say objects in mirror are closer than they appear, right? Because it's not exactly as they appear. There's depth to it. There's more to it than what meets the eye. And this is exactly what is happening right now in the collective, in the human collective and in the twin flame collective, right? Because we as twin flames, we are mirroring what's happening in the collective as well. Not just the twin flame collective, I mean in the human collective. Because we are here mission based. We are here for this mission of ascension, of liberating humanity from this oppressive slave system that has been created to diminish the human spirit. It was never made. None of the systems in place were ever made to heal you. They were never made to nurture the human spirit. They were intentionally created to diminish it. And when you actually take a pause and allow yourself to look at them and go, wait a minute, that's true. Then you begin to ask yourself, well, why would they do that? Why would the systems be created to actually work against humanity rather than for humanity? Then you really start to go, oh my goodness, there really is way more to this whole human history story than what I think there is. And I don't know if I want to know. I was that. It's kind of like, oh, because it's really going to shatter what you perceive reality to be. But that's what this is about, right? That's what the twin flame dynamic even does, is it shatters your perceptions of what you thought love was, of what you thought relationships were, of what you thought you wanted in your life, of who you thought you were. You see what I mean? That is the purpose of this twin flame connection, is to completely shatter what isn't aligned with source, what isn't fully aligned with unconditional source love. All of that has to crumble, and that's what's happening right now, is all of these systems, all of these things that were created to diminish and snuff out the human spirit. We're here to bring them bitches down. But that means that all of those things that are in us have to be broken too, have to be shattered too. All the belief systems that stem from the broken system of not being worthy enough, because that is huge. That is going to be the biggest reason of why your divine masculine rejects you, is because he does not believe he is even remotely worthy of your greatness. Whereas at the same time, you are not fully embodying and owning your greatness yourself, right? You're not fully embracing your own greatness, and therefore he is all the more not threatened, but overwhelmed. That's the word. All the more overwhelmed by your power, your essence, your strength, your energy, because this is the rise of the feminine. Okay? So this is so, wow, so much where we are. I'm totally loving doing this as a little audio here. I really am. I'm liking this a lot. We might do this more. And then I can start uploading them maybe even as actual podcasts, because it is my intention to be creating a podcast. I already even know the title of the show. There's a little rhyme. Ooh, we just had, as I was shuffling that, jump out there. Well, because it is about expansion. That's the card that we have here, is the expansion card. You know, you are here to create this new earth, goddess. You are not here to fall away with the old one. You are not here to acquiesce through fear and allow someone to tell you what you're allowed. You are born free, and you're here to anchor that and amplify that freedom, to expand that freedom, to spread your wings and fly. That is what expansion is all about, is you allowing yourself to break free from any perceived barriers and bondages that you may have within yourself, or that you may have been given. Because that's the thing, is all of the greatest bondages that humanity has ever come to discover itself in are the bondages of the mind, right? Through manipulation, through coercion, through programming, brainwashing. It has been, and never more prevalent, never more obvious has such a thing been shown. I mean, to, especially in this country, the amount of brainwashing, of propaganda that comes through the television. It's not called television for nothing. And this is why, as a poet myself, as a writer, I've always known how much power words have. Words have so much power, right? And this is why we are all being asked to be very discerning of that which we are speaking, what we're thinking, what we're giving attention to, and really asking ourselves, instead of just dismissing something, saying, but wait a minute, just because I've not heard of this before, or I've not actually seen anything about this, does it actually mean it's true? Right? It's again no different in this twin flame connection. You, at one point in time, you didn't even believe in the concept of it. Yet here you are on a twin flame journey. That said, the other card that came out here is the grounding nature card, because of the discombobulation of what's happening right now in the human collective and in the twin flame collective, where again, goddess, I know your divine masculine feels as though he has taken a total 180, maybe completely going the opposite direction, feels as though it is just all hope is lost. Number one, hope means hold on, pain ends. But number two, it's recognizing, it's honoring and recognizing, one, that is attachment that you're healing right there. That's what that is. That is attachment of the ego. And that's what we're here to heal, because we, and this came up with the goddess yesterday, is that we as star seeds, as light workers, as light warriors here, twin flames, that we are building the new earth. However, even as we ourselves are holding on to the old, we are the very ones that are preventing the old from falling away. Oh. Let me say that again in another way. That by holding on to old beliefs, old programs, old ways of being, old material things even in your life, by holding on to anything, that is attachment first and foremost. Attachment is fully rooted in the ego. Detachment is anchored in the soul, because the soul knows that it is connected to all and everything, and therefore needs to hold on to nothing, because it knows everything is always provided, because it is attached and connected to, not attached, it is connected to everything. It is an energetic being, and through manipulating energy and allowing for the flow of energy, all things come as they're needed, as requested. But when we are holding on to our old stories, to our old habits, to the old ways, to our old perceptions of our DMs, we are the very ones that are the molasses of this shift, especially when we are the ones who are knowing that we have to let go of the old in order for the new to be expanded, to be built, to rise up. We have to let go of that which is holding us back. So be very discerning. Back to that discernment card today. I mean that is totally the theme of today. Ooh, and intention. The intention card just flipped in my hands, because that is what this is. It's about being very discerning of that to which you're giving your attention, and then to be very intentional. Have clarified intention behind what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're creating here. Really begin to clear your energy and your thoughts, and ask yourself, what do I desire to be experienced? It matters not, again, it matters not the way it looks right now. Do not feed into the way things look right now, because it is what it is. Meaning, what is happening right now, it's already manifested, it's already done. You don't have power to change it. You only have power over how you are responding to what's happening right now. That is where your power is with regards to what is happening right now. You cannot change right now except for how you respond to right now. Make sense? So instead, you're being asked to be discerning of that to which you're giving your attention to, because that's what is expanding into your realm of experience here. And be sure to be grounding yourself as you're doing this, so that you can be, again, clearing out those chaotic energies. That's the purpose of grounding, right? And then to be intentional of that discernment, meaning to be purposeful of that to which you are giving your attention. of that which you are thinking about, of that which you are feeling about. Be very intentional of what the outcome is that you desire, meaning what would you like to experience moving forward? What would you like to experience within yourself? What kind of experience with your divine masculine would you like to have? For instance, in mine, mine took the most excruciating path that he was being presented with. He took the most painful one. He took the prison one. He took the one of, I'm not worthy of living my life on my terms. I can only live the life that my parents create for me. I'm not allowed. Because not being allowed, love isn't and hasn't been allowed for a long time in this world. Think about it, mixed races and such, right? Love itself and by itself, in its purest form, has not been allowed. It has been corrupted and prostituted and manipulated. And I love using the word prostituted just because as a former prostitute myself, it's just kind of one of those words that's forever in my vocabulary. So that is exactly what it is, goddesses. We are being asked to be intentional of that to which you're giving your thoughts, your attention, your focus, your energy. I know right now it can again feels so hopeless, so discouraging that it's not going to turn out how you want it to, that you're not even going to get what you want. I get it. Believe me, I do. But that is where you're being tested the most, of asking yourself, where is my power? It's not in how much power can I exert to control something I don't have power or control over, but rather, what can I give my attention to that I do have power and control over? Okay? That is what it is to look for and find your power in this journey, in any place and space on this journey. All right? And one of those things that I love to ask for where our power is in this journey are these Work Your Light worker cards from Rebecca Campbell. I almost said Rachel Campbell. I have a junior high school best friend from back when, and it's Rachel Campbell was her name. And so whenever I see these cards, I'm always thinking Rachel, not Rebecca. That said, oh my goodness, Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. That's what I'm here to remind you today, goddess, is that you are creating this new earth. But again, we've got to let go of the old. You've got to let go. It is the objective of detachment, having no attachments, because attachment is of the ego. Attachment says, I am going to hold on to this thing because I don't actually have it, and if I let go, I won't have it. Whereas the soul says, I don't need to hold on to this because I know it is me. It is a part of me. It is forever a part of me. So I don't need to hold on to it. It is. Ooh, and that was amplified right there with a yawn. Oh my goodness. So breathe, oxygen, taking that breath, breathing it in, because breath of life. Oh my goodness. Because life is connected. Everything is connected. This is the transcending the illusion of separation. That is why twin flame separation is such a thing, because twin flames are mission based. And what is the greatest challenge of humanity? But to overcome the illusion of separation. That none of us are separated. Not by skin color, not by language, none of it. We're still at our very core all human. We're all the same in that regard. We all make up this gorgeous and glorious tapestry of humanity. Each and every single soul, a thread that contributes to the beauty of this tapestry. Each and every one important, and no one less important than another. For when one unravels, the entire thing can unravel. It takes others to stitch it up. So yeah, we are building heaven on earth here. It is mission first. And you, goddess, are being asked to begin within yourself, of creating that heaven for yourself, that little slice of heaven, and then expanding that out in your environment around you. That is exactly here we are. We have, again, the discernment card, the expansion card, nature card, intention, and now the Lemuria card of creating heaven on earth. How do we create heaven on earth? But by being discerning, by choosing that to which we're giving our attention, our energy, and focus, because that is the very thing that is being fed, nurtured, and thus grown and expanded into this world. If you're feeding the story that all hope is lost with your counterpart because of how it looks right now, then that's what's going to continue to be created. I get it. Like I said, I totally get how hopeless it can feel. Oh my goodness. But you know what? You've been training for this for lifetimes. We just got the Age of Light card. You've been training for this for lifetimes. You and your counterpart knew what you were signing up for when you did this. You, along with all your other soul contracts, we all knew what we were getting into when we signed up for this. Although I do like to joke a lot and say, okay, I need to see that contract again, please, because I think I missed the fine print. However, that's when, boom, we get the card of the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you, right? So anytime when, again, in that space of, can I see the fine print, universe? I think I missed some things. It's in those times when we need to be reminded that it's not happening to you. This is all happening for you. It is helping you to grow stronger. It is helping you to grow wiser. It is helping you to step more and more into that version of yourself that you've asked to become, that you need to be in order to maintain and sustain the life that you desire, the union with your divine masculine. If you're not really filling your cup and loving yourself, he cannot give you anything that you are not already giving yourself. He is not the one that's going to fill in the empty gaps. There cannot be empty gaps, goddess. You're responsible for your empty gaps, right? Excuse me. And with that, let's dive into the divine masculine message from them, what they have to say, because I know, again, I know for me, for my journey, we're not saying anything to each other. The communication lines are open. However, of course, he is experiencing such defeat and such shame that he feels as though he is completely lost. And that's, again, that's that energy, feeling completely defeated, feeling as though there is no hope, that dreams don't come true, that things are never going to get better, and that you have to settle, that there is no choice in this. However, the unicorn card of purity comes up for us from the divine masculine energy. That is exactly what we are in the midst of right now, is being purified. That is this cleansing time. And there was 3333 I just saw. But right now it's purification by fire. That's what's happening right now. Purification by fire. We have to walk through the fire to singe off all of that which cannot come with us into this next phase of humanity, of life, of living, of ascension, of where we are here and where we're headed. We cannot take it with us. And I always am reminded, there's a reason why I grew up in Kansas. I grew up on a farm, and my dad would burn. He'd do control burns of the pastures for the cattle. So, and why do we do this? This is why you have wildfires so out of control, because they're not allowed to do controlled burns. Controlled burns are vital for nature, right? They are imperative. And what happens is it burns off all of the dead, and it transmutes those dead leaves and such back into nutrient-rich food that is then fed back into the earth, and it regenerates, and it gives the earth this nutrition back that it's needed, that it once fed to those plants that have died. You see, it's this gorgeous and glorious circle of life, but that controlled burn is a purification process. It purifies that land so that, again, the nutrients can be re-delivered and thus redistributed for new growth to happen, right? So that is exactly what is underway in the collective with the divine masculine, because we must clear away the old. There's prosperity we have on the way. Oh my goodness, we have the expansion card as well from the divine masculine. So both divine feminine and divine masculine card decks here are bringing us the expansion. All of this is for our expansion, meaning it is for our growth. Just like the Unfolding Rose card says, it's happening for you, not to you. And because this is the path of the counterparts for reclaiming their power, to be fully in the flow with divine source energy. And that's where we have with the cards with the divine masculine is the dragon power card and the flow card, right? All of this, when we are all anchored into our truth, into our true power, and we're showing up fully in that love space of all that we are giving everybody else permission to do the same for themselves, to fully embrace and envelop and allow for themselves to be who they are, to love themselves, to be that fullest expression of themselves, to not be afraid to be who they are. That, again, we are here to liberate humanity from this prison that it's been in of diminishing the human spirit. Rather, we are here to say, oh no, shine bright little light, shine bright little light, shine bright. And that means we ourselves must be shining bright. That is how we lead, Goddess. That is how we guide humanity out of this dark prison that it's been in of fear and blame and shame and guilt, and ascend up into the light space of love, of joy, of happiness, of enlightenment. Right? But we must be purified. And it is trial by fire right now. It is trial by fire. Just as the shit that you've gone through in your life, right? Words don't teach. Only life experience gives understanding. And so this is exactly where we all are. Is in order, and especially the divine masculines, they have to as well. You've gone through so much of your own growth, Goddess. The divine masculine has some shit he's got to as well. While you're over here healing and working on your expansion, he's over there healing and working on his. All right, and he is cheering you on because you're leading the way. So of course he's cheering you on. This is why it's so important for you to not continue looking back at where he is. It's time to focus forward on the journey of expansion, and that is exactly what the divine masculine is also asking, is for you to focus forward on the expansion, the mission. It's the expansion of humanity, right? The expansion of your soul, the expansion of the universe. Mission first, because he's working on his. And remind yourself that any of this attachment of like, I need him, I need the physical, anything that's rooted in that physicality, that's ego. And that's the ego trying to distract you, trying to take you from your power and say, no, I am my twin. I feel him within. Okay? Whew. Excuse me. Because again, power. This is the path to reclaiming your power. This is the path to him reclaiming his power. And when each counterpart are in their power, it means they are flowing with divine source energy. They are flowing love into this world, divine, unconditional love into this world. And that is why we're here. That is why it's mission first, because that is the mission, is to anchor the light and amplify the love. But you cannot amplify something that is not in you. And by that I mean that true love can only begin within, from where it expands outward to envelop, encompass, and embrace those around you. All right. So we've had 111 and 3333. Let's just see. There's been, again, quite a bit of 111 coming up around and around. Let's see here. 111, intentional. Let's see here. And then 111, awareness of thoughts becoming things, increasing powers of rapid manifestation. We have twin flame awakening, right? That is this expansion. That's why the counterparts are mirroring expansion right now, because we are awakening more and more and more to our truth, to our power, right? To remembering who and what we truly are. Align with your vision, transform into the true you. It's time for you to come home to union within. That is our 111. And then 3333, growing pains. Oh my goodness. You could say that, right, goddess? Right? That is exactly where the counterparts are. We are deep in those growing pains in terms of that rejection, really amplifying the separation in the connection to in turn amplify the separation in the collective of humanity. So yeah, amplifying the separation within the twin flame connection, as well as to shed light and amplify the separation that's being amplified within the collective as a whole. Being aware of the evil forces that seek to dim your light. There has again been so much evil attacking the light. Remember, this is the greatest exorcism that's ever happened on this planet. Okay, and so the evil is doing everything it can. All of your shadow aspects are being amplified. This is why the feeling of despair, the feeling of hopelessness, the feeling of powerlessness, because the evil, that which is working so hard to keep twin flames out of union, the very thing that has led these counterparts, our beloveds, deep into the forest, the not so pretty forest, the scary one, like from the Wizard of Oz, the dark forest of shadows, right? That has led them into this place, has lured them into this trap of ego. And that's what they've chosen. But it's because of the amplification of the division in this world right now. That is why the amplification of a perceived division in the twin flame collective. Holy moly, even I needed to hear that myself. All right, because twin flames are ascended masters. You're ascended masters. This is why you have chosen the most excruciating journey of them all, a twin flame journey. Okay. That said, that's where we are for today. It's really, again, being discerning of that to which you are giving your power, recognizing that this is happening for you. It's a purification process. Both counterparts have been and continue to go through this, because humanity has been and continues to go through this. And twin flames very, very much mirror the collective. We, again, are mission-based beings. We have come down here with the intention of liberating humanity from its shackles and chains of fear and blame and shame and guilt and all these lower vibrations. But again, that also means that we ourselves must be letting go of those things, the stories against our counterparts, the stories against anything that we desire, right? Anything that does not come from that love center. It's time to reframe it, rewrite it, and release it. And that's where we are. With that, dear Goddess, thank you so much for tuning in to this, well, what I'd love to, again, be more of a podcast experience for everybody. And stay tuned for Thankful to Thrive Thursday coming up in a couple days, of course. And we'll see what that day brings. I know for me, with this Twin Flame Tuesday, it's exactly what I know I needed to hear, and it just really affirms what I'm getting from so many in the collective right now, with where the Divine Feminines are feeling, and what's been happening with the Divine Masculines. It's because we're here to clear the templates that have suppressed humanity. We're here to clear the templates that have diminished and been made to even snuff out the spirit of humanity. Well, in order to know what needs changing, we have to go through it. Words don't teach. Only life experience gives understanding. You cannot know something unless you know it. You can read about something, but unless you know it and experience it, you don't really know it. And that's where we're headed with this 5D, is its authenticity. And this is where, again, your responsibility lies, is in stepping into your authentic power, stepping into your authentic truth, your authentic self. That is exactly what this is about, this purification process that counterparts are going. This is why being discerning is so important right now. Is this me or is this not me? Is this where my power is or is this not where my power is? It's discernment, period. All right, increasing that awareness, because that is what it is to be stepping into your power. And stepping into your power is the very thing that gets you into the flow. With that, Goddess, thank you so much for joining me on this journey for Twin Flame Tuesday, and I look forward to bringing you more material. And I'm really excited about giving this a shot. Thank you so much, Goddess. Come find me on Instagram, of course, at Healing Twin Flames and at Empowerment Experiences. And very soon, I'm so excited. I'm almost done. I have literally 3 emails, just some finishing touches to put on them, and the brand new 17-day self-love empowerment challenge is done. It also comes with the confirmation checklist. It is the ultimate empowerment stretch, the empowerment challenge of, I'm so excited about it. I haven't created anything like this large in terms of it being my free things that I'm offering. So that said, stay tuned for that. It will be the same link that currently is the 7-day challenge. But that said, it's coming soon, and I'm so excited about that. And of course, come join us on Telegram. It's been a little quiet in the group just because so much has been going on, and there's been a lot of energy being expended lately, and so it has been challenging. However, you will find support from among other goddesses who are also going and growing through this journey with you. And that said, if you're looking for even deeper support and you're really ready to create those changes, make those shifts, reclaim your power on a whole nother level, then come be empowered with Rochelle. That's yours truly, Empowered with Rochelle. It is my all access pass. We do group sessions on Zoom. We do manifesting moon rituals. We have goddess parties, vision board experiences on Zoom. You have lifetime access to all of my video courses, which we can, again, dive into those together in the group if you reach a point and you have questions with regards to those. So you have that kind of support. It is the ultimate way to really truly be reclaiming your power and to become empowered with Rochelle. Remember, I'm a former pimped out, drug addicted prostitute. I never imagined myself being where I am in my life, having a twin flame, having traveled around the world, especially if you knew that I used to have anxiety so severe I couldn't even leave my house. Yet a couple years ago, I flew around the world all by myself, right? To go meet my beloved twin flame. So that said, we do have the power to create our realities. The power is in our hands. It's in your hands, goddess. Because that power has always been inside you. Namaste.